Your panties stink. How did I even marry you in the first place, you useless woman? The words tore through the dining room like a blade. Plates rattled. The ceiling fan hummed on, indifferent to the chaos exploding beneath it. And just like that, the evening, meant to be an ordinary family dinner, became the moment her marriage officially died. Nkechi froze where she stood, her hands still trembling over the pot of stew she had brought to the table. Her husband, Boma, stood on the other side of the dining room, pointing at her like she was filth. He wasn't whispering. He wasn't arguing softly. He was shouting, intentionally, shamelessly, violently. The neighbors could hear. His cousins in the living room could hear. Even the little girl from next door who liked to play outside their window could hear. And all of them would later repeat the same sentence. He told her panties stink. It was the kind of humiliation that burns its way into the bone. Before Nkechi could speak, before she could even breathe, Boma flung the tiny piece of white fabric across the room. It hit her foot and fell like trash at her side. Look at it. Look at the nonsense you call underwear. Dirty, smelling like something died inside you, he shouted. The room spun. Her throat tightened. The stew pot slipped from her hands, warm oil splashing over the tiled floor. The evening was ruined. Her dignity, even more so. But Boma was not done. He never was. How did I end up with a woman like you, he said, shaking his head with disgust. Even ordinary women on the street keep themselves better. You? Nothing. Waste of bride price. Her chest caved in, and for a moment, Nkechi imagined her heart had split open like old wood. His cousins, Didi and Inebili, shifted awkwardly in the living room, pretending to scroll on their phones but listening with full attention. They didn't defend her. They never did. They came to the house for free food, free Wi-Fi, and drama. Not justice. Nkechi bent slightly to pick up the pot so no one would slip, but Boma grabbed her arm and yanked her upward. Don't touch anything. If the food is as dirty as you, nobody should eat it, he barked. She swallowed the lump in her throat. Her hand burned where he had grabbed her. Her eyes stung with humiliation. Boma, please, she whispered. Talk to me, not like this, not in front of people. His eyes widened. As if she had insulted him. Talk to you, he repeated mockingly. You think you deserve conversation? You, Nkechi? Because you washed your body and wore wrapper? You think marriage is by force? You don't satisfy me. You don't make me happy. You don't even smell like a woman that a man should touch. Those words. Don't even smell like a woman a man should touch. Went straight to her soul. She had tried. She had begged. She had prayed. She had cried silently at night while he slept in the guest room, refusing to touch her, refusing intimacy, refusing even basic affection. This humiliation was not new. Just louder today. Too loud. Her knees weakened. Before she could react, before she could run, before she could fight, the screen faded to black. Because right then, right in the middle of the chaos, right in the heat of the humiliation, the YouTube intro began. Welcome back, beautiful viewers. This is stories_by_Tino, bringing you another emotional African family drama. Thank you for your constant love and support. Before we continue, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. And tell us, what would you do if your husband said this to you? The story resumed. The dining room stood still. Only the fan kept turning, slicing through the silence. Nkechi blinked hard to keep tears from falling. She knew Boma wanted tears, that was why he insulted her publicly. But she refused to give him that satisfaction. Boma, she whispered again, what did I do wrong? Everything, he snapped. You are the problem in this marriage. You, Nkechi. You ruined this home. You ruined my peace. You drained my joy. Since you entered my life, Things have spoiled. She staggered backward. He was saying the words he always kept buried. The poison he had been storing in his chest was finally spilling out like acid. He turned to his cousins and shouted loudly enough for the entire building to hear. This woman is a curse. If not for her, I would have built a house by now. If not for her, my business would have grown. If not for her, I would have peace. A curse. A burden. A reason for failure. It was every African woman's deepest fear. Nkechi held her chest. She felt her body tremble. Boma, that's not fair, she whispered. I have supported you since we married. I have. He cut her off with a violent slap. The kind that had no warning. The kind that echoed. The kind that made Didi sit up straight. The kind that made Inebili stop breathing. The kind that made Nkechi fall sideways, her cheek flaming with shock. Shut up, he yelled. Don't talk back to me. Her breath caught in her throat. The dining room grew hot. The walls felt like they were closing in. Nkechi forced herself to stand. Her cheek burned. Her heart burned more. Boma, why are you doing this? She whispered. What changed? Why do you treat me like this? He stared at her with an almost delighted cruelty. Because I don't want you. Because you disgust me. Because another woman has shown me what real womanhood looks like. Her stomach dropped. Another woman. And he had said it with no shame. His cousins eyed each other. This was new information, but also expected. Nkechi blinked. Her voice cracked. Another woman? Boma laughed. A wicked, satisfied laugh. Yes. And she is everything you are not. She smells good. She looks good. She makes me feel like a man. There it was. The truth. The dagger. Her marriage had not died today. It had been dying for months. She just didn't know the exact date of death. Until now. Nkechi felt every piece of her fall apart. She tried to swallow, but the tears betrayed her. One fell. Then another. And another. But Boma wasn't finished. If not for culture, it would have chased you out long ago. But don't worry, your time is coming. Just keep acting like a wife in a house where you are no longer wanted. Useless woman. Her legs almost failed her. Didi finally spoke, quietly. Brother Boma, maybe take it easy. But Boma snapped. Shut up. Both of you eat my food, sleep on my couch, and use my Wi-Fi. Today, you want to advise me? Idiots. The cousins went silent. And just like that, the humiliation worsened. Nkechi stood still, holding her chest. Her heart beat slowly. Painfully. Awkwardly. Like a drum being played out of rhythm. Her voice was barely audible. Boma, if you don't want me anymore, say it gently. Not like this. But gentle had never lived in Boma's heart. He stepped closer, leaned into her ear, and whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. I stopped wanting you the day you became boring. The day I stopped desiring your body. The day your smell changed. The day you stopped being the woman I married. Her entire world shattered. She had spent nights crying, wondering why he refused intimacy. Why he slept separately. Why he avoided her touch. And now, the answer came like a thunderbolt. He was already sleeping with someone else. Her fingers shook. Her body felt light. Too light. The room spun. She reached for the table to steady herself, but Boma slapped her hand away. Don't touch my table. Just go to your room and stay there. I don't want to see your face. Something inside her snapped. She didn't shout. She didn't cry loudly. She didn't collapse. She simply breathed. A quiet, broken breath. And then she said the sentence that surprised even her. Boma, if you hit me again, I will leave this house tonight. The cousins looked up sharply. Boma stepped toward her slowly, like a loaded gun. Leave, he whispered with a cruel smile. You? Leave? You have nowhere to go. You have no one. That's why you are still here. You depend on me. You need me. And I don't need you. Her throat tightened. He was right. She had nowhere else. No family in the city. No job. No savings. No friend close enough. But she had something else. Something Boma didn't expect. Pride. She stepped back. 1 slow step. 2 steps. 3. Her voice shook. Boma, this is wickedness. He shrugged. Wickedness is marrying a woman who doesn't satisfy you. The fans hummed. The cousins stared. Nkechi's tears finally fell freely. And then, the front door opened. A silhouette appeared. Tall. Calm. Unexpected. Someone who had overheard the last 3 sentences. Someone who had come at the worst, and possibly the most important, moment. Is this really how you talk to your wife? Every head turned. Nkechi gasped. Because standing in the doorway was the last person Boma wanted to see during his outburst. And the first person who would change the entire story. Cliffhanger. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. Who do you think walked in through that door, and why? Drop your guess in the comments below. The doorway felt heavier than the walls around it. The entire house stood still, frozen, breathless, suffocating under the weight of that single unexpected presence. The man who stepped in was Ezekiel, Boma's older brother. Taller, broader, calmer, yet far more dangerous when provoked. His voice had always been the kind that didn't need shouting to command silence. And right now, the silence was absolute. He stared at Nkechi with shock, then at Boma with disgust. What is going on in this house? Ezekiel asked slowly, closing the door behind him with a finality that made Nkechi's heart thump painfully. Boma straightened his shoulders, masking shame with arrogance. Nothing that concerns you, he snapped. Stay out of it. Ezekiel's eyes narrowed. Does it look like nothing? I heard you from outside. My car window was closed and I still heard you. Didi and Inebili sank deeper into the couch, suddenly invisible. Nkechi wiped her face quietly. Boma scoffed. So? You want to start defending her now? You always liked playing saint. Ezekiel ignored the jab and walked toward Nkechi, stopping a respectful distance from her. His voice softened. Nkechi, what happened? Before she could speak, Boma answered sharply. What happened is simple, I'm tired of her. She disgusts me. I don't want anything to do with her again. Ezekiel inhaled deeply, jaw tightening. You could have said that with dignity, he replied. Not like a madman dragging his shame out into the street. Nkechi looked between them, feeling like the walls were closing in. She hated conflict, but this was bigger than her. Boma leaned forward, eyes wild. Let me warn you, Ezekiel. Don't interfere in my marriage. Marriage? Ezekiel repeated slowly. You call this a marriage? You're screaming insults in front of your cousins, slapping your wife, telling her she smells, humiliating her like she's a stray dog. Enough. Boma roared. No, Ezekiel said calmly. Not today. The dining room grew thick with tension. Nkechi kept her gaze on the floor. Her cheek still burned. Her ribs ached from the earlier push. Her dignity felt like shattered pottery beneath her feet. Ezekiel took a slow breath, then spoke quietly. Boma, you have crossed a line. And I will cross more lines if I want. Boma snapped. She is my wife. I do as I please. Ezekiel turned sharply, pointing a finger at him. That woman is someone's daughter. Someone's sister. Someone's flesh and blood. She is not your property. Boma slammed his fist on the table. You think I care? Let me say it clearly, I don't want Nkechi anymore. The words hit her harder than the slap earlier. Her breath left her chest. Ezekiel watched her crumble internally. Why? He asked, voice low. Boma folded his arms. She doesn't satisfy me. She smells weird. She's boring. She's a burden. And, he paused with a wicked smirk, I have someone else. Nkechi's back stiffened. It was the first time Boma admitted it aloud. Ezekiel looked stunned. You actually said it. Boma shrugged. At least she makes me feel alive. Unlike this one. Nkechi shut her eyes, wishing her ears could shut too. Ezekiel rubbed his forehead. So you're disrespecting your wife because of a side woman? Side woman that will soon be main woman, Boma shot back. Nkechi's stomach twisted. Her hands trembled again. Her heart felt like wet cloth squeezed too tight. Ezekiel's face hardened. You're a disgrace. That sentence cut through the air with surgical precision. Boma lunged forward. You dare insult me? Ezekiel raised his hand, stopping him mid-step. You're fighting a woman. What is wrong with you? Nkechi's voice finally cracked. Please, both of you stop. Please. It was a plea from someone trying not to collapse. Ezekiel turned to her gently. Let me take you out of here. Just for tonight. Boma stepped between them immediately. She's not going anywhere. Nkechi shrank back. Ezekiel stared at his brother, eyes sharp. After everything you've said to her tonight, she cannot stay in this house. I said she's not going anywhere. Boma shouted. Ezekiel remained calm. Too calm. Why? You just told her you don't want her. So why stop her? Boma clenched his fists. Because he needed control. Because breaking her slowly made him feel powerful. Because even if he didn't love her, he wanted to own her pain. His silence exposed everything. Ezekiel shook his head slowly. You don't love her. You don't respect her. You don't want her. But you want her to remain here and keep suffering. Boma looked away. Nkechi's chest tightened painfully. Ezekiel stepped back. You have turned this home into a battlefield, Boma. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Boma barked defensively. Nkechi winced at the aggression. Ezekiel lowered his voice. I came to give you the business papers you asked for. But clearly, you need far more than documents. You need sense. He dropped the folder on the table. Nobody moved. Nkechi felt like the floor beneath her was melting. Ezekiel turned to her again. Nkechi, go pack a small bag. Boma immediately exploded. If she moves toward that room, I swear. Ezekiel cut him off with a single sentence. Touch her again, and you will regret it in a way you cannot imagine. Boma froze. Not because of fear of violence, Ezekiel wasn't violent. But because when Ezekiel spoke calmly, even devils paused. Didi whispered under her breath. God, this is bad. Nkechi didn't move. She couldn't. Her legs were jelly. Her hands were numb. Her throat was clogged with unshed tears. Ezekiel stepped closer and whispered. You don't deserve this. Go. Just to breathe. Something inside her cracked open. A small, fragile strength surfaced, the kind that takes everything just to stand. She nodded slowly. Then she walked past Boma. Every step felt like walking through fire. Boma's voice thundered behind her. If you leave this house, don't come back. Her feet faltered. The threat was real. The consequences were brutal. Her entire life was tied to this home. But her heart, her tired, bruised, humiliated heart, did not stop walking. She entered the bedroom. Her sanctuary. Her prison. The room still held memories, beautiful ones, but they felt like ghosts now. She grabbed a small bag. Not clothes. Not shoes. Not jewelry. Not sentimental items. Just her purse. Her phone. Her ID card. And a wrapper. Because she didn't know where she would sleep. As she zipped the bag, her tears finally fell, hot, thick, painful tears that carried months of buried pain. She whispered through the sobs. God, help me. When she stepped back into the living room, the air tightened. Boma looked furious. Ezekiel looked determined. Didi and Inebili looked like spectators at a burning house. Nkechi walked toward the door. Boma pointed a trembling finger at her. If you leave this house, don't ever. She finally spoke. For the first time that night, her voice did not tremble. Boma, you don't own my breath. The room fell silent. She pushed open the door. A cold night breeze brushed her face. Ezekiel followed behind her. Boma stood still, frozen with shock, but ego wouldn't let him call her back. The door shut. The night swallowed them. Ezekiel walked ahead slowly, giving her space. Nkechi followed, carrying nothing but a small bag and a heart full of cracks. When they reached his car, her legs finally gave out. She sank to the ground quietly, wrapping her arms around herself. Ezekiel knelt beside her. You're safe now, he whispered. She shook her head. No. I'm homeless now. He placed a hand on her shoulder. You're not homeless. You just left a house. You didn't leave your future. A tear rolled down her cheek. Where will I go? Ezekiel exhaled deeply. I know a place. Someone I trust. Someone who can help you. Her eyes lifted slowly. Who? Ezekiel stood and opened the car door. Get in. I'll take you to him. Him, she whispered, confused. Ezekiel nodded. He's not like Boma. He's different. She hesitated. Ezekiel lowered his voice. He has a good heart. And he owes me a favor. She stared at him. Who is he? Ezekiel paused, as if weighing whether to speak. Then he said quietly. His name is Desmond. Nkechi swallowed. Who is Desmond? Ezekiel looked toward the dark road. Let's just say, he's the man who will change everything. Her heart skipped. Change everything? How? Why? What kind of man was Desmond? And why was Ezekiel suddenly involving another man in her shattered marriage? Before she could ask again, a black SUV pulled up behind them. Slowly. Quietly. Unexpectedly. The headlights went off. The engine stopped. The door opened. A tall, unfamiliar man stepped out, looking directly at her. Her breath stopped. Because something about his presence told her. Her life was about to take a turn she never could have predicted. And Boma would regret every word he ever said. The night air pressed heavily around them, thick with questions, fear, and the kind of silence that stretched out the soul. Nkechi didn't speak as she stared at the unfamiliar man stepping out of the SUV. Something about him commanded attention, not loud, not forceful, but quietly imposing. His dark gray shirt clung to a firm, disciplined body. His wristwatch gleamed under the dim streetlight. His steps were deliberate. Controlled. Purposeful. And then he spoke. Ezekiel, you called. His voice was deep, smooth, and carried a calm authority that made even the streetlights seem to pause. Nkechi didn't know whether to stand or remain crouched by the car door. Ezekiel nodded. Desmond, thank you for coming quickly. Desmond's eyes shifted to Nkechi, softening, but only slightly. You didn't tell me she was in this condition. Nkechi straightened instinctively, attempting to hide her shaking hands. She wasn't used to strangers witnessing her pain. Ezekiel stepped beside her. She needs a safe place for the night. Desmond studied her face in silence. Not judging. Not pitying. Just observing, as if trying to understand the wound she wasn't saying aloud. Come, he said finally. Let's not stand outside. But Nkechi hesitated. Her mind raced. Who was this man? A friend? A stranger obligated by family ties? Someone who owed Ezekiel? Someone from Boma's past? Her voice broke the silence. Where are you taking me? Desmond stopped walking and turned fully to face her. To somewhere you can breathe, he said simply. Nothing more. Ezekiel nodded in reassurance. I wouldn't expose you to danger, Nkechi. Danger. She had lived with danger for years, silent danger, emotional danger, violent danger concealed beneath her husband's pride. But this felt different. Unknown, but not threatening. Still, her voice trembled with caution. I don't want trouble. Desmond looked at her with a calm, unreadable expression. If trouble wanted you, it already found you back there. Her stomach tightened. She looked away. He was right. Without another word, Desmond opened the back door of the SUV. The interior was spotless, smelling faintly of leather and something expensive she couldn't name. Get in, he said gently. Nkechi stepped inside, her body exhausted but her mind racing. Ezekiel leaned in through the open window. I'll handle things with Boma. Don't worry about the house tonight. Just rest. But the word rest felt foreign to her. When Desmond got into the driver's seat and started the engine, she felt her breath catch. The vehicle moved quietly, gliding through the night like it had a purpose. For several long minutes, silence filled the SUV. Not awkward silence, just quiet, a kind she hadn't experienced in months. Nkechi watched the city lights blur past. The glow of kiosks. The vendors still packing up. The rumble of Danfo buses in the distance. Motorcycles weaving like restless spirits through the night. It was Lagos. A city that held millions of stories. Tonight, hers was just beginning to unravel. Desmond finally spoke, his eyes still on the road. Your cheek is swollen. She touched her face instinctively and winced. He continued, do you want ice? When we get to my place, I can. No, she said quickly. I don't want to be a burden. Desmond's grip tightened slightly on the steering wheel. You're not a burden. The words shocked her. Boma had made her believe she was nothing but a burden. You don't know me, she whispered. Desmond replied calmly, I don't need to know you to see you're in pain. That sentence lodged itself somewhere deep in her chest. She looked out the window again. Silence returned, but a different kind this time. A healing kind. A safe kind. When they entered a quieter residential area, she finally turned to Ezekiel's friend. How do you know him? Ezekiel? Desmond gave a small, rare half-smile. We've known each other since university. He helped me through the worst time of my life. I owe him. And now you're helping me because of that? Desmond shook his head faintly. I'm helping you because no woman deserves what I heard tonight. Her heartbeat sped up. He had heard? She stiffened. You heard everything? He paused. Not in shame, not in discomfort, just thoughtfully. I parked behind Ezekiel. I saw when your husband pushed you. I heard the words he used. It was enough. Her throat closed. She looked away again. Desmond added quietly, men like that don't deserve loyalty. The sentence hit her harder than she expected. Because loyalty was the one thing she clung to in her marriage. The SUV finally stopped in front of a tall, gated building. Not ostentatious, but clean, orderly, and secure. A place where safety felt natural. The security man recognized Desmond immediately and opened the gate. As they drove in, Nkechi whispered, This place looks expensive." Desmond switched off the engine. "Don't worry about that. You're not paying for anything." But that sentence made her heart tighten with unease. "I don't want charity," she said softly. Desmond turned in his seat, looking directly at her for the first time since they started driving. "This isn't charity. It's humanity." Her breath trembled. It had been so long since anyone treated her with simple human kindness. He stepped out, came around, and opened her door. She stepped out slowly, unsure what awaited her but too exhausted to run. Inside the building, Desmond's apartment shocked her. Not because it was luxurious, though it was. Not because it was spotless, though it gleamed. Not because it smelled of eucalyptus and comfort. But because it felt peaceful. Peace. A feeling she had forgotten. He led her to a guest room. A neat space with soft cream walls and warm lighting. "You can stay here for tonight," he said. Nkechi nodded weakly, clutching her small bag. If you don't mind," she whispered. Desmond paused again. He did that often, like a man who didn't waste words recklessly. "You have nothing to fear here. Sleep, if you can. Your body needs it." She stepped inside. He closed the door gently. Not forcefully. Not angrily. Just gently. She leaned against the wall, letting the exhaustion swallow her. She sat on the bed, letting the softness cradle her trembling body. It was the first bed she had touched in weeks that didn't carry the memory of rejection. She broke down. Not in loud sobs. But in silent tears that soaked the pillow. She didn't know how long she cried. Eventually, her body forced her into sleep. But something woke her again. A knock. Soft. Careful. Respectful. She sat up, wiping her face quickly. "Come in," she whispered. Desmond entered, carrying a tray with warm water, a small bowl of ice, and pain relievers. "I thought you might need this," he said. Her eyes widened. No man had ever shown her this kind of thoughtfulness. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice cracking. He set the tray down and stepped back, keeping distance. "You don't have to talk about anything tonight. Rest. Tomorrow, we will think." She nodded. He turned to leave. But then, just before he stepped out, he paused. And spoke the sentence that froze her blood. "You should know. Ezekiel got a message an hour ago." Her heart stopped. "What message?" she asked. Desmond's jaw tightened. "It's from your husband." Her pulse raced. What did he say?" Desmond exhaled slowly. "He said if you're not back by morning, he'll take an action that will change your life forever." Her stomach dropped. She grabbed the edge of the bed. "What kind of action?" she whispered. Desmond met her eyes. The kind that no woman wants to hear. Nkechi's voice trembled. "Desmond, what did he say?" Desmond finally answered, his tone low. "He said, if you don't return before sunrise, he will expose a secret he claims to know about you." Nkechi froze entirely. Her lips parted. Her breath stopped. Because she did have a secret. A secret she prayed would never see daylight. A secret she thought Boma didn't know. But somehow, he did. She swallowed hard. "Desmond," she whispered, voice shaking violently. "How did he find out?" Desmond stepped closer, eyes full of something she had not expected. Fear. For her. "Nkechi," he said slowly. "I don't think he just found out." He hesitated. "I think, he's been waiting for this moment." Her world collapsed in one breath. Her secret. The one thing she thought would die with her. was about to be used as a weapon. And by morning, her life might never be the same again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. What secret do you think Nkechi has been hiding all these years? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Nkechi didn't sleep again after Desmond's warning. Not even for 5 minutes. She sat upright on the edge of the bed, fingers clutching the wrapper around her knees, eyes wide, unfocused. The room was dim, the only light coming from the small bedside lamp. It cast warm shadows on the walls, shadows that seemed to breathe with her fear. Her secret. The one she buried. The one she never even told her closest friend back home. The one she prayed would remain hidden. How did Boma know? The quiet in the apartment was thick, almost suffocating. She could hear the faint hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen. The buzz of distant traffic. A motorcycle revving outside the estate gate. But beneath all of that was the unraveling of her thoughts. Desmond's words kept replaying. He will expose a secret he claims to know about you. She pressed her hand over her chest. The pounding was violent. She had been through humiliation, beatings, rejection, but this was different. This wasn't about her dignity. This wasn't about her marriage. This was about her past. Her darkest past. A past she never wanted anyone to know. A soft knock came at the door. She tensed. "It's me," Desmond's voice said. Her heart steadied just enough for her to answer, "Come in." He stepped inside slowly, wearing a navy polo shirt and dark joggers. His face was calm, but his eyes were observant, always calculating, always seeing more than she said. "You didn't sleep," he said quietly. She shook her head. "I can't." He nodded once, not pushing. "Ezekiel messaged again," he said. Her breath caught. What did he say?" Desmond stepped closer, holding his phone loosely. "He's trying to reach your husband. Boma is not answering." Nkechi's stomach twisted. Desmond added, "He also said you shouldn't panic until we know exactly what Boma is planning." But she knew Boma. He didn't bluff. He didn't threaten and walk away. He acted. Desmond sat in a chair across from her, leaning forward slightly. "I won't force you to tell me anything," he said, voice low, "but if you want help, I need to understand what kind of leverage he thinks he has." Her throat tightened. She wanted to speak. She wanted to say the words. But the shame covered her like a wet blanket. Nkechi shook her head. I can't say it. Not yet." Desmond inhaled deeply. "All right," he said gently. "Then let me ask another question. Has he ever used this secret to threaten you before?" She bit her lip, tears pricking her eyes. "No." "Has he asked you anything unusual recently? Something strange?" "No." "Have you told anyone that secret? Anyone at all?" "No." Her voice cracked. But someone knew. Someone must have told him. Someone had to be the one. Desmond observed her quietly. "Then maybe the secret wasn't buried as deeply as you thought." His words stabbed her, but they were true. She pulled her knees closer. "Desmond, if he exposes it, everything changes. People will judge me. My family. His family. Everyone." Desmond nodded calmly. "Let me tell you something," he said. "People judge even when you've done nothing wrong. Their opinions cannot kill you. But secrets, they always find a way to come up for air." Her breath trembled. "You don't understand," she whispered. "This one will destroy me." Desmond held her gaze. "Or free you." Her eyes filled with tears. He didn't understand. He couldn't understand. But she said nothing. He stood. "There's something I need to check. Stay here. I won't be long." Before she could ask what, he left the room. The apartment door shut softly. She was alone again. Minutes passed. Or maybe hours. She didn't know. Every second felt like she was drowning slowly. Her mind drifted back to the past she tried so hard to bury. But she shut it down. This wasn't the time. She went to the window and looked out. The estate was quiet, the street lamps casting golden pools across the walkway. A stray cat moved lazily across the lawn. Everything looked normal. Which was insane, because her entire world was collapsing. She turned away and walked back to the bed. She sat. She stood. She paced. Her fingers were trembling again. She whispered to herself. Please, God, don't let him do this, don't let him tell anyone. When the apartment door finally opened again, she almost jumped. Desmond walked back in with his phone in his hand and a strange, unreadable expression. What happened? She asked quickly. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked toward her slow enough to make her panic. Nkechi, you need to see this. He handed her the phone. Her eyes scanned the screen. It was a screenshot. From social media. A private group. At the top. Married Women Forum Nigeria, anonymous post. But the post wasn't anonymous. It was from Boma's profile. Her blood ran cold. The post read. Some women come into your life with secrets so dirty, they destroy your destiny. Tomorrow morning, I will publicly expose what my wife did before I married her. Let the world judge. She brought shame into my house. I'm returning the shame to her family. There were comments. Dozens. Women arguing. Men adding fire. People speculating. Some comments read. Expose her. Women think they can hide their nonsense forever. Some wives deserve disgrace. Bring the story, let us judge. This is going to be hot. Nkechi felt the ground vanish beneath her. She couldn't breathe. Her fingers went weak, and the phone slipped from her hand. Desmond caught it before it hit the floor. She choked out a sound, half sob, half gasp. No, 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 no. Her voice cracked wildly. No, he can't do this. He can't. Desmond held her shoulders gently. Nkechi. She pulled away, shaking. You don't understand. If he posts it, if he says it, my life is finished. He won't get the chance. He already started, she cried. He will finish it. Desmond's voice deepened. I said he won't. Her chest heaved. She backed away until her legs hit the bed. What am I going to do? Desmond, what am I going to do? Her voice was breaking, collapsing under the weight of terror. Desmond paced for a moment, anger brewing beneath his calm exterior. Then he said, I'm calling Ezekiel. We need to strategize. She sank onto the bed. Her secret. The secret she never wanted to tell a soul. Now in the hands of the one man who hated her enough to weaponize it. She heard Desmond speaking on the phone from the living room, low, urgent, determined. Then he walked back in. His eyes held a question. Nkechi. I won't force you. But if we're going to stop him, I need to know what he's planning to expose. Her breath caught again. She wiped her tears slowly, her hand trembling. She stood. Walked to the window. Held the curtains. And whispered. There was a pregnancy, before Boma. Desmond's eyes narrowed. A pregnancy? She nodded, tears falling. And I lost it. Through something I've never told anyone. Not even him. Desmond stepped closer. What kind of something? She shook her head violently. I can't say it. Nkechi. I said I can't say it. Her voice filled the entire room, raw, desperate, breaking into pieces. Silence followed. A long, sharp silence. Then she whispered. If he tells people what he thinks happened, I will be destroyed. Desmond's brows knit together. What he thinks happened? She turned to him, eyes swollen, voice barely a breath. Boma believes. I terminated the pregnancy on purpose. Desmond stiffened. And did you? Her voice broke completely. No. Silence. I lost that baby in a way nobody would understand. In a way that. Her throat closed. She covered her face, sobbing. Desmond stood completely still. Then he said quietly. Then he's about to destroy you with a lie. Her shoulders shook. He stepped closer. Then we must destroy the lie before he speaks. Her breath hitched. How? He's going to post tomorrow. He has followers. People will believe him. Desmond held her eyes. Then we will make sure his voice doesn't matter tomorrow. She stared at him, confused. Before she could speak, Desmond's phone buzzed. He looked down. And his face changed. His jaw tightened. His eyes darkened. His spine straightened. He inhaled sharply and looked up at her. What happened? She asked. Desmond stepped closer, lowering the phone to his side. He spoke slowly. He didn't wait until tomorrow. Her heart stopped. What do you mean? Desmond raised the phone. He just posted the first part, publicly. Nkechi covered her mouth. Her knees gave way. She fell to the floor. No. God, no. Desmond knelt beside her, holding her shoulders. It's only the beginning of his post. The full details are coming. We still have time. She shook her head violently. No, if he writes the rest. I'm finished. Desmond looked straight into her eyes. Then we stop him before he presses post again. How? She cried. Desmond hesitated. Then he answered with the most dangerous line she had ever heard from him. Nkechi, there is something you don't know about Boma. Her heart pounded. Desmond continued. Something that gives us the power to stop him. She whispered, trembling. What, something? Desmond leaned closer. He has a secret too. Her eyes widened. But what secret? Desmond finally said it. The woman he's cheating with. She's not who you think she is. Nkechi's mouth parted. Who is she? Desmond whispered. She's married. Her blood froze. He continued. And not just married. He swallowed. She's married to someone who will burn everything Boma owns. If he ever finds out. Nkechi's breath caught. Who is the husband? She asked, voice barely audible. Desmond looked down at his phone again. Then slowly, he lifted his eyes to hers. Nkechi. The woman Boma is sleeping with. Is the wife of a man I know personally. Her heart stuttered. Who? Desmond inhaled slowly. Then exhaled. Her husband is the last person Boma should have crossed. Silence swallowed the room. And then he said. His name is Duro. Nkechi blinked. Duro? Who is he? Desmond's voice dropped to a whisper. He is a man powerful enough to crush Boma, without touching him. Her breath trembled. Why are you telling me this? Desmond stepped even closer. Because if Boma exposes your secret, we will expose his. Her heart raced. But, how do we tell Duro? Desmond stared at her. We don't have to. Why? Desmond's lips parted. Nkechi. Duro has been tracking his wife for months. And tonight. He raised his phone. He got a location alert. Nkechi whispered. To where? Desmond answered slowly. To Boma's house. Her entire body turned ice cold. And then he delivered the line that shattered the night. Nkechi. Duro is on his way there right now. What do you think will happen when Duro reaches Boma's house? Drop your prediction in the comments. The apartment felt too quiet after Desmond revealed the truth. Too still. Too heavy. As if every wall, every tile, every piece of furniture was holding its breath. Nkechi couldn't move. Her legs wouldn't obey her. Her voice wouldn't emerge. Her mind wouldn't process. Duro was on his way. To Boma's house. Tonight. The man whose wife Boma had been sleeping with. The man whose reputation carried weight. The man known in social circles as a storm wrapped in human skin, silent, calculating, and devastating when provoked. And from everything Desmond implied, Duro was not just angry. He was coming with purpose. Nkechi pressed a hand to her chest, trying to calm her breathing. Desmond, she whispered shakily. What is he going to do to Boma? Desmond rubbed the back of his neck slowly, a sign of tension she hadn't seen before. I don't know, he admitted. But Duro isn't the type to break into fights or start shouting. He's precise. Precise? The word chilled her. Desmond nodded. Yes. He doesn't destroy with fists. He destroys with truth, with influence, with consequences. A tremor ran down Nkechi's spine. But what if he harms him physically, she managed to ask, though the thought made her sick with conflict. Desmond considered it. Duro has never been a violent man, he said at last. But he is a man who doesn't forgive betrayal. And his wife's betrayal, that's the kind that turns even gentle men into something else. Nkechi sank into the chair by the window. The night outside blurred. Streetlights became streaks. Noise faded. The world dissolved into fear and questions. What if he destroys Boma, she whispered. I don't want anyone to get hurt because of me. Desmond crouched beside her, meeting her eyes. This isn't because of you, he said gently. This is because of the choices Boma made. His lies. His disrespect. His arrogance. He lit a match he can't control. Her throat tightened. Desmond. I don't want a war. This isn't a war, Desmond said calmly. This is accountability. The word felt heavy. Real. Dangerous. She stared at the floor, her voice barely audible. How did Boma and that woman even meet? Desmond hesitated. Are you sure you want to know? Yes. He sighed. Her name is Vero. She's been attending his business conferences for months. Their affair isn't new. It's been going on for a long time, longer than you realized. She closed her eyes, pain flashing across her chest like lightning. And Ezekiel, she whispered. Does he know all this? Desmond nodded. He's known bits and pieces. He tried to warn Boma months ago. But your husband is stubborn. Prideful. He doesn't listen. Nkechi covered her face. Of course. Pride. Always pride. Desmond stood up, pacing. He thought he was untouchable. That he could humiliate you and cheat without consequences. He just didn't think his choices would cross paths with a man like Duro. Nkechi swallowed. What do we do? She asked. Desmond paused and looked at her. We prepare. Prepare for what? For whatever happens tonight. Time moved strangely inside the apartment. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like slow falling stones. Nkechi could hear Desmond making calls in the living room, low, urgent, controlled. He was calling Ezekiel, trying to find out Boma's exact location, trying to intercept any sudden explosion between Boma and Duro. But Ezekiel wasn't getting answers. Boma wasn't picking up. And according to one neighbor, he left the house almost 30 minutes ago. The news sucked the air out of the room. Left? Nkechi whispered. Where did he go? Desmond exchanged a look with Ezekiel over speaker. Ezekiel's voice came through, tense. He might be trying to run. Run? Desmond repeated. Yes. That's how Boma thinks. He won't face consequences. He'll try to escape them. Nkechi felt dizzy. Where will he run to? We don't know, Ezekiel said. But if Duro is tracking his wife, there's a chance Duro is tracking him too. Nkechi sank deeper into the chair. A new possibility hit her. What if Duro finds him before we do? Silence. Desmond didn't answer. Ezekiel didn't answer. Because they all knew the truth. Duro wasn't going to fight Boma. He was going to end his reputation, his image, his name, his finances, and everything that made him stand tall. A soft kind of punishment. The same kind he had given Kechi. A visible humiliation. The same kind he inflicted on her. A collapse from the inside. The same way he destroyed her mentally. Her vision blurred. God, she whispered. What is happening to my life? Desmond sat across from her again. You're experiencing the ripple effects of a man's arrogance, he said softly. But this isn't the end of your story. It's the turning point. She looked at him, searching his face. Why are you helping me like this? She asked. You don't even know me. His gaze softened. Ezekiel is my friend. And you're someone who shouldn't be fighting this alone. Her heart tightened painfully. No man had said that to her before. Desmond, can I ask you something? Anything. Do you think people will believe him? About the pregnancy? Desmond exhaled deeply. Yes, he said honestly. People believe lies faster than truth. Tears filled her eyes again. But, Desmond continued, lies can only destroy you if you stand still and let them. She looked up, trembling. What do I do? Desmond leaned closer. You fight back. Not with noise. Not with anger. But with truth. The truth will shame me, she whispered. Then shame them with it, he replied. Her breath caught. He wasn't joking. Or being poetic. He meant it literally. Nkechi stared at him, dazed. Desmond stood again, his voice firm. Nkechi, you will not let that man define your identity. She felt the words in her bones. You will not let him cage you with a lie. Her throat tightened. And you will not let him use your past to bury your future. He stepped closer. You survived the pain. Now you will survive the truth. Her tears fell quietly. Desmond. I'm scared. He knelt beside her again. Fear doesn't stop the storm. But it makes you sharp enough to survive it. She dropped her gaze. What if the world judges me? He replied softly. The same world that judges you today will celebrate you tomorrow when they learn the truth. She blinked. What, truth? He stared into her eyes. The truth about your marriage. The air thickened again. What about my marriage? She whispered. Desmond didn't blink. You were dying inside it. Her breath caught. He continued. And now, you're finally waking up. Her eyes stung. Her chest tightened. Her heart throbbed painfully. Desmond stood slowly. Now we need to move. She wiped her eyes. Move where? To find Boma, he said. Before Duro reaches him. But her stomach dropped. Desmond, why do we need to find him? Because what Duro is bringing, he replied quietly, is bigger than betrayal. The room seemed to shrink. What do you mean? Desmond glanced at his phone. He just sent me a message. A message? What did he say? Desmond stepped closer, lowering the phone. It's a location. His voice tightened. And one sentence. What sentence? She pressed. He hesitated. Then he read it aloud. Tell Boma to say goodbye to his old life. Nkechi's heart stopped. Her pulse raced. Her breath vanished. What does that mean?" she cried. Desmond didn't answer immediately. When he did, his voice was low and heavy. "Nkechi, what Duro is planning, it has nothing to do with violence." She swallowed hard. "So what is he planning?" Desmond held her eyes. "Your husband is about to lose everything he owns." She staggered back. "How? Why?" "Because Duro is not only wealthy, he's connected. Politically. Socially. Legally. Financially." Her knees weakened. "Desmond, what did Boma get himself into?" Desmond took a deep breath. "Duro is not the type of man you cheat with and walk away untouched. His wife is not the type of woman who cheats in secret. Her actions spill into everything he controls." Nkechi felt her heart racing. What does Duro want?" Desmond's jaw tightened. "He wants justice." Nkechi's voice trembled. "And what does life look like, for the man Duro wants justice from?" Desmond whispered. "It looks like ruin." Silence swallowed the room. Completely. Totally. Until Desmond's phone buzzed again. He looked at the screen. Then his face changed. What is it?" Nkechi asked, panicking. Desmond stared at her, stunned. "Nkechi, you need to sit down." "Why?" He swallowed. "Because this just became much bigger." Her voice cracked. "What do you mean?" Desmond stepped closer slowly. Then he showed her the phone screen. Her eyes widened. "Is that?" "Yes," Desmond whispered. "It's Boma." Her heart pounded. What did he do now? Desmond stared at her. "This isn't about what he did." "Oh my God," she whispered. "Then what is it?" Desmond inhaled sharply. "It's about where he is." Her voice trembled. Where is he?" Desmond looked her in the eyes. "He just entered a hotel." "So?" Desmond's voice dropped to a whisper. "He entered with Duro's wife." Nkechi gasped. No, that can't be." Desmond's face was pale. "They're not hiding anymore. They're making a bold move." Her knees shook. "What does that mean for him?" Desmond looked at her and spoke the line that froze her blood. "Nkechi. Duro is in the hotel too." She covered her mouth in horror. Desmond added. "And he knows exactly which room they're in." The moment the words left Desmond's lips, "Duro is in the hotel too," Nkechi felt the entire world tilt sideways. She grabbed the edge of the chair to steady herself. "In the same hotel?" she whispered. Desmond nodded, jaw clenched, eyes hard. "Yes." Her heart pounded violently. "And he knows the room?" "Yes." The room felt colder. The air felt thinner. Her thoughts scattered in every direction. "Desmond, this can't be happening." "It is," he said quietly. She pressed her hand to her chest again, as if trying to hold her heart inside her ribs. You said Duro isn't violent." "He isn't." "Then why is he at the hotel? Why is he going after them?" Desmond exhaled deeply, running a hand through his hair. "Nkechi. Duro is a rational man. But betrayal from a wife, and humiliation from a younger man? It changes things." Nkechi swallowed. Fear moved through her like cold water. "Desmond, do you think?" Her voice cracked. "Do you think he will hurt Boma? Or hurt his wife?" Desmond paused. His silence said enough. "I think," he said eventually, "that Duro is going to confront them. And what happens after that depends on how they respond." Nkechi shook her head rapidly. No. I don't want violence. I don't want anyone harmed. I just want my life back. I just want the truth." Desmond stepped closer. And that is exactly why we have to move. She blinked. Move where? To the hotel. Her breath froze. No, Desmond. I can't face him. I can't see whatever is happening there. I can't. You're not going there to see anything, he said. You're going because this entire thing revolves around you. Your truth. Your secret. Your future. Nkechi looked terrified. But what if Duro blames me? What if he thinks I'm part of this? He won't, Desmond said firmly. He knows the truth. He knows Boma is the problem. She shook her head again. No. I can't go there. Desmond stepped forward and placed a steady hand on her shoulder. You won't be alone. I'll be with you. Her eyes lifted slowly to meet his. She whispered, why are you helping me like this? Desmond didn't look away. Because you deserve someone on your side for once. Her throat tightened. She looked down at his hand on her shoulder, strong, steady, reassuring, and her tears filled again. He stepped back, giving her space. We need to leave now before things escalate. She inhaled shakily. What if we're too late? Desmond replied quietly. Then we deal with the aftermath. Minutes later, they were in Desmond's SUV, pulling out of the estate. The streets of Lagos pulsed with nightlife, bars glowing with neon lights, vendors packing up their stalls, motorcycles weaving between cars with reckless confidence. But the world inside the car felt like it was holding its breath. Nkechi clutched her wrapper tightly, staring straight ahead. Desmond, she finally whispered. Do you think Boma cares? Even a little? About what might happen? Desmond's jaw tightened. He cares more about being caught than being wrong. She swallowed bitterly. That sounds like him. Desmond nodded. He isn't afraid of hurting you. He isn't afraid of cheating. But he is afraid of losing everything publicly. Her voice shook. And Duro will make sure that happens? Yes. Nkechi felt a sudden rush of nausea. So what happens when two dangerous truths collide? She asked weakly. Desmond drove in silence for a moment, choosing his words carefully. Either a man admits his wrongs, or his wrongs swallow him. She stared at him. And which one do you think Boma will choose? Desmond didn't hesitate. The second. The hotel was tall and glassy, glowing under the moonlight like a monument to temptation. It was one of those places wealthy people use for secret affairs, expensive enough to hide shame, discreet enough to carry secrets. Desmond parked on the far end of the lot, away from the front entrance. Nkechi froze in her seat. I can't get out, she whispered. Desmond turned toward her. You don't have to go inside. She exhaled shakily. Then why did we come here? To understand what we're dealing with. He pointed toward the building. Ezekiel just texted me. He's on his way. He knows Duro personally. We're not going inside without him. She nodded slowly. Relief washed over her, but fear remained like a tight knot in her stomach. Desmond studied the building thoughtfully. I know where that room is, he murmured. Duro sent me the floor. Nkechi wrapped her arms around herself. Desmond, if they are inside that room, and Duro is already here, what is happening right now? Desmond didn't answer. Because none of them knew. And that uncertainty was enough to destroy her nerves. Minutes passed. Cars arrived. Doors opened. People walked in and out. But none of them were Boma. None of them were Vero. None of them were Duro. The suspense was suffocating. Nkechi pressed her forehead against the window, fighting tears. How did my life get here? She whispered. How? Desmond didn't answer. He was staring at something else. A black Jeep. Window tinted. Engine running. Parked near the side exit. He leaned forward. That number plate. That's Duro. Nkechi tensed. Is he inside the jeep? No, Desmond murmured. He pointed toward the hotel's side door. Because he just came out. Nkechi followed his gaze. There he was. Duro. A tall man in a dark suit, expression stone cold, walking toward the jeep with the quiet fury of a storm ready to explode. His posture was controlled. Calculated. Deadly in its stillness. He reached the jeep. Opened the back door. And someone else stepped out. A man. Not Boma. Someone older, wearing a hotel manager suit. The manager was sweating, visibly nervous. Duro spoke to him quietly, and the man nodded rapidly, as if obeying a command he couldn't refuse. Then Duro climbed into the jeep. The engine revved. The jeep pulled out. Fast. Nkechi's heart twisted. Desmond, where is he going? Desmond's eyes narrowed. I don't know. But, she stammered, what about Boma? What about the room? What about everything? Desmond didn't look away from the jeep disappearing into the night. If Duro is leaving without confronting them, he said slowly, that means one thing. What? She whispered. Desmond finally turned toward her. He's planning something much bigger. She froze. What could be bigger than catching them inside a hotel room? Desmond hesitated, then said. Destroying them outside of it. Nkechi felt her stomach drop. Desmond, what does that mean? It means, he said darkly, that whatever Duro is planning is not going to happen in that building. Nkechi swallowed hard. Then where? Desmond turned the engine back on. We need to follow him. Follow him? She looked terrified. Why? He stepped on the accelerator. Because whatever he does next, will determine your future. They followed at a safe distance. Duro's jeep moved through the city with deliberate speed. Not reckless. Not rushed. Purposeful. Almost like he had already decided where the next scene of destruction would take place. Desmond, please tell me we're not driving into danger. We're not. You sound too calm for someone saying that, she murmured. He didn't respond. The jeep turned into a quiet, upscale neighborhood with tall fences and expensive houses. Nkechi frowned. Where is this? Desmond answered without hesitation. Duro's house. She gasped. Why are we here? He didn't slow down. To listen. Listen to what? Desmond's hands tightened on the wheel. To the moment a man with power decides your husband's fate. Nkechi trembled violently. Desmond, this is too much. This is too fast. I'm scared. Desmond turned to her, eyes steady. Fear is normal. Silence is not. Tonight, you won't be silent anymore. She swallowed. What are you saying? Desmond pulled up on the opposite side of the road, facing Duro's mansion. The jeep was already parked inside the compound. He killed the engine. Then he looked at her. Nkechi, you're about to witness something important. Her breath hitched. What? He inhaled deeply. Duro is not angry because his wife cheated. She blinked. What do you mean? Desmond's voice lowered, heavy. He's angry because your husband was the one she cheated with. She froze. Her blood ran cold. She whispered. What difference does that make? A big one, Desmond replied. Her whole body tensed. How? Desmond's expression grew darker. Because Duro doesn't punish traitors the same way he punishes strangers. Her mouth parted. What do you mean? Desmond leaned forward. Nkechi. Duro knows Boma personally. Her heart stopped. What? Desmond nodded grimly. He knows him. From business circles. From social events. From meetings. He trusted him. Respected him. Even helped him once. Her vision blurred. "And now," she whispered. "And now," Desmond said quietly. "Your husband betrayed not just you." He held her gaze. "He betrayed a man who owns more power than 10 men combined." Nkechi trembled. "What will Duro do to him?" Desmond turned back toward the mansion and whispered the sentence that shattered the night. "He's going to take something from Boma." Nkechi whispered, "What?" Desmond answered, "Everything." Her breath caught. Her heart trembled. She leaned back in the seat, trembling violently. Just then, the gate of Duro's mansion slowly opened again, and a car began to pull out. Not Duro's car. Not a staff car. A silver sedan. Being driven by someone familiar. Too familiar. Nkechi's mouth fell open. She grabbed Desmond's arm. "Oh my God." Desmond stiffened. "I see him." It was Boma. Driving out of Duro's mansion. Alone. Looking shaken. Sweating. Frightened. Broken. Desmond whispered. "He didn't go to the hotel to meet Vero." Nkechi stared at him, frozen. Her voice cracked. Then why did he go there?" Desmond's face turned grim. "Because Duro summoned him." Her eyes widened in terror. And then Desmond spoke the final line. The one that crushed every last drop of breath in her lungs. "Nkechi. Your husband already knows his life is ruined. What do you think Duro told Boma inside that mansion, and why did Boma leave looking shattered? Drop your prediction in the comments." Boma didn't drive far. He didn't have the strength. The silver sedan crawled down the quiet street in front of Duro's mansion like a dying animal limping away from a predator. His hands shook violently on the wheel, sweat dripping down the sides of his face. The headlights cast long shadows across the asphalt as if the night itself was judging him. Nkechi watched from Desmond's SUV, hands shaking, breath shallow, heart splitting open in real time. She had seen Boma angry. She had seen him cruel. She had seen him arrogant. But she had never seen him like this. Broken. Deflated. Hunted. He parked just 2 houses away and gripped the steering wheel with both hands, forehead falling against it. Desmond and Nkechi observed him from a distance. What did Duro say to him?" Nkechi whispered. Desmond didn't blink. He gave him a warning. She swallowed. "A warning?" "A final one," Desmond said quietly. "Boma knows what it means." "And what does it mean?" Desmond exhaled slowly. "It means Boma has until morning to disappear, or lose everything he still has left." Nkechi felt the weight of those words slam into her chest. Disappear. Her husband. Her tormentor. Her accuser. The man who tried to shame her before the world, now running from shame himself. She looked down at her trembling hands. "Desmond. I don't want him destroyed," she whispered. "I just want the truth. I don't want him ruined." Desmond turned toward her. "Do you want him to expose your secret?" "No." "Do you want him to keep humiliating you?" "No." "Do you want him to continue cheating?" "No." "Do you want him to keep blaming you for his failures?" "No." "Do you want him to keep slapping you?" The silence said everything. She closed her eyes. Desmond's voice softened. "Nkechi, some men have to lose everything before they understand what they destroyed." She didn't answer. Because the truth inside her heart was too complicated to voice. She didn't want him hurt. But she didn't want him to keep hurting her either. Desmond placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Tonight isn't about revenge. It's about balance." She opened her eyes. "Balance?" "Yes," he whispered. "Boma destroyed the emotional life you had. Duro is destroying the false one he built." A single tear slid down her cheek. "What do we do now?" she whispered. We confront him, Desmond said. Her heart skipped. Confront? Boma? Yes. Desmond, I can't. You can, he said firmly. And you will. Her breath trembled. Why? Desmond looked at her deeply. Because you need closure. Real closure, not the kind he controls. The night felt colder. The street quieter. The air sharper. She gazed at Boma's car again. He was still resting his forehead on the steering wheel, motionless. Like a man processing the death of a dream he built out of lies. Desmond opened the SUV door. Let's go. Fear seized her chest. Desmond. I'm scared. He looked back at her. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's standing up while shaking. She breathed hard. Will you stay with me? He nodded once. I'm not leaving your side. That sentence sent something warm through her chest, a warmth she hadn't felt in years. She exhaled shakily and stepped out of the SUV. They approached the silver sedan slowly. Halfway there, Boma raised his head, eyes red, face wet with sweat or tears, she couldn't tell. He saw them in his side mirror and straightened immediately. He opened the door and stepped out. The streetlight above him cast a harsh glow on his face. Not anger. Not pride. Fear. Real fear. Nkechi, he stammered. Her heart twisted painfully when she heard her name from his lips for the first time in weeks. What are you doing here? He asked, voice cracking. She stood still, Desmond slightly behind her. Nkechi, listen. I was going to explain. Everything. Just give me time. Her voice was soft. Time? For what, Boma? He swallowed hard. I made a mistake. A mistake, her voice shook. Which one? Boma bit his lip, something he did when cornered. The post. The thing I said about you. His voice dropped, embarrassed. I didn't mean it. I was angry. No, she replied quietly. You meant it. His eyes flickered. Okay, maybe I meant part of it. But I was hurt. I was frustrated. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Pressure, she whispered. Is that why you cheated? He froze. Desmond watched him carefully. Who told you that? Boma demanded. Your own actions did, she replied. Boma ran a hand over his head shakily. Please, Nkechi, let's go home. Let's talk. She didn't move. And what about what you posted about me? She asked. He winced. I'll delete it. Is that enough? His eyes widened. Nkechi. I said I'm sorry. She shook her head slowly. No, you're not. Boma looked wounded. Why would you say that? Because you're not sorry for what you did, she whispered. You're sorry you got caught. He staggered slightly. Silence drenched the street. Desmond stepped forward gently. Tell her the rest, Boma. The rest? Boma repeated weakly. Yes. Tell her what Duro told you. Boma's eyes darted between them. He backed away a step. Desmond, please. Desmond didn't blink. Tell her. Boma looked at his wife, eyes desperate. Nkechi. Duro said I have until morning. Her breath caught. Until morning for what? Boma swallowed. To leave Lagos. She gasped. What? He said if I'm still here by 8 a.m., he'll ruin me. Nkechi felt her heart twist painfully. Why, Boma, she whispered. Why did you do this? Why did you betray me and him? He covered his face. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. Then why were you humiliating me? She demanded. Why did you say those things? Why did you try to expose me? His voice cracked. Because I thought you would leave me first. She froze. What? He lowered his hands. I thought you didn't love me anymore. Nkechi stared at him, hurt, confused, stunned. You pushed me away, she whispered. You slapped me. You insulted me. You stopped touching me. You slept in another room. You called me dirty. You humiliated me in front of people. And all that, because you thought I didn't love you? He nodded weakly. She covered her mouth. Desmond whispered behind her. Pain makes some men cruel. It makes others stupid. Your husband is both. Boma turned sharply. Who asked you? Stay out of my marriage. Marriage? Desmond repeated calmly. You ended that yourself. They stared at each other, rage meeting ice. Nkechi stepped between them. Enough. They stopped. She turned to Boma. You were never afraid of losing my love. You were afraid of losing control. He said nothing. You wanted me small. Weak. Dependent. That's why you insulted me. That's why you threatened me. That's why you posted lies about me. Her voice hardened. You wanted to break me before you left me. Boma's knees buckled. He sank onto the hood of his car. Nkechi, please. No, she whispered. Tonight, you listen. He looked up, defeated. You told the world you would expose my secret. Boma's lips parted. Nkechi. And now, she continued, I will expose yours. His face drained of color. Nkechi, please. Desmond stepped forward. Your wife won't speak a lie. She will speak the truth. Nkechi faced Boma. The truth is this, you cheated. You lied. You humiliated me. You posted about me. And now another man is coming after you because you betrayed him too. Boma covered his face in shame. Do you know what hurts the most? She whispered. He looked up, broken. She wiped her tears. You never loved me enough to protect me. But I still loved you enough to protect you. Boma choked on a sob. Nkechi, please. No, she said softly. I'm done begging. I'm done crying. I'm done breaking. Her voice steadied. You will leave Lagos before sunrise. Boma nodded slowly. And you will delete your post. I will, he whispered. And you will never contact me again. He trembled. Nkechi, please, don't do this. She took a deep breath. You didn't want me when I was yours. You won't have me now that I'm finally finding myself. His shoulders fell. His tears spilled. Her heart hurt, but her spirit rose. She turned to leave. But Boma called after her one last time. Nkechi. She froze. He whispered. Is there someone else? The question lingered in the air. Nkechi turned slowly. Her eyes drifted to Desmond, who stood behind her. Solid. Calm. Unshaken. The first man who had stood beside her without breaking her. She looked back at Boma. There is someone, she whispered. Boma swallowed painfully. Who? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. She took a step toward Desmond. Then another. Boma watched, crushed. Desmond opened the SUV door for her. And just as Nkechi placed one foot inside, a phone buzzed. Desmond's phone. He checked the screen. And froze. What is it? She asked. He looked at her with alarm. It's Duro. Her chest tightened. What did he say? Desmond slowly lifted the phone so she could see. One sentence. Just one. Tell her I know her real secret too. Nkechi's entire body went cold. Her breath vanished. Her knees buckled. Desmond reached for her. But her voice came out as a whisper of pure terror. How? How does Duro know my secret? What do you think Duro discovered about Nkechi, and how could he possibly know her hidden past? Drop your theories in the comments.